What's up, guys? It is Sam here, and I wanted to give you an update on that property. So, I am working on three properties right now, but before I get into the details of that, make sure you press that red button that says subscribe, and there's a little bell notification next to that. Just gently tap on the bell notification, just like that, so YouTube can notify you every time I post a video. All right, with that being said, there's three properties. I'm going to touch on each one of those and give you updates on each one of the properties. All right, let's start with the least probable, in my opinion, of going through. There is a very rundown property, needs a fuckload of work. By my estimates, by the way, you can check out other videos in more detail on the channel. Just check out real estate or house purchase or something like that, and you should be able to find it. The first property, it is probably could sell for around $200, $215 in good condition, like real good condition at $215. It would have to be like a quality product. And it probably needs around $75,000 worth of work. 10 of that or 15 of that is holding costs and soft costs, but it needs a substantial amount of work in the property to bring it up to speed. This is a first flip, so I'm rounding up on a lot of the numbers. Could be substantially less, but there's just so much fucking shit in there that you really can't tell. It needs a new septic system. It needs a shitload of work on the inside. It needs new floors. It needs a bunch of new windows. It needs a new roof. There's just a substantial amount of things that are pretty costly that it needs, that the person kind of wants to be able, they owe $30,000 roughly. I offered, I think, about 86 for it. They want to be able to just get into another property. However, they don't. Everybody goes through issues. Like, there's no judgment here, but they don't really have a tremendous amount of income, and their credit they've not really kept up on, so they do not have super great credit. So I'm not sure how they are going to do that. I'm still in contact with the person. I don't think they're really doing much effort into looking for anything. I've reached out to a real estate agent for them and passed along other agents' info so that they could start the process. I don't think they have that type of personality to do that, where pretty much somebody else would just have to do all the work for them, from my elementary understanding and conversations with this person. Property number dos is in a neighboring town. This one is actually super cool. So, all three of them are cool. But number two, the property is, the comps are probably between, so comps that I did were around maybe 100 to 115-ish per square foot. This property is only like 800 square foot property. So right there, right, you get $80,000, $90,000 or $95,000, somewhere in that range. Very cheap property. It has new siding. I think it's a new roof. There's no electrical. There's no heating in it yet, but it's basically all just down to the studs. All the framing is done and everything like that. It just needs a lot. It needs the electrical and it needs a heating system. Those are the two major things in there. And when you look at like comps that are fixed up, that are nice, you know what I mean, like a type, like a A minus, B plus type quality, you know what I mean, brand new everything, but not necessarily the super expensive of appliances, counters, and all that kind of stuff in the bathroom and the kitchen. The comps are probably in the 125 to 150 range. So if you do the math on that, right? So if it's 800 square foot and you have something that's 125, that's 100 grand. And if you have one that's 125 times 800 is 150 times 800, that's $120,000, right? So you kind of have to, what you do is start there, take out the profit, then take out all the work you have to do, and then put in your offer for that, or a little bit of a fudge factor, because if you're like me, you haven't done this before. Now, I talked to the person, and I think that they would be willing to let it go from the conversation that I had with them briefly for around 60, 65, right around that range. So I think I could probably get it for a little less than that. I'm still doing some of the due diligence in terms of the costs on this. And I mean, if I can get it for 60, we'll say, and there's the whole basement, which is about I didn't have my measuring tape with me, but I believe it's a 7 foot, which means there's nothing down in the basement, and it's got a nice wide staircase, new staircase that's going down, so super wide, slightly wider than like a normal staircase, which is awesome for getting into the basement. And the basement could be finished, not necessarily included in a listing, but it could be included in the descriptions. And if I was able to basically double the square footage on a house from 800 to 1600, and then, well, let's call it 1500, because the heating system is going to take up some of that space, and I'll probably, if I'm finishing it, I'll probably build a closet or something around it. So we'll just be conservative and call it 1400, right? 1400 times 125, it's $175,000. That's fucking super substantial, son. So that one is super interesting to look at. So I'll probably have an offer in later this week on that one. The first one I put an offer in already. I don't think the person's going to do anything about it, honestly. I'm still in dialogue. I think once it gets bad enough, then she'll come back and say she wants to do something, and then it's going to be an even lower offer, honestly. So this one will be 175, hopefully. There is one kind of major issue, though, which you'd have to take a big discount on this number. And that's at the lower of the 125. There's no parking. There's like an easement there, which you could put in parking, but the city has to develop the easement, so they have to put in something. So I have to either give a substantial discount in this, maybe 20% or something like that. That's just completely arbitrary. I'd have to look into it, but give a discount on this because of the parking issue, unless I can get the city to develop the easement so that I can put in like a cement pad or something like that in the back for parking in a walkway. Walkway might be a couple grand. The cement pad is a couple grand as well. But if I was able to do that and add parking on here, I think this would be a real gem. And there's a lot, I just feel like there's a tremendous amount of opportunity on this one. So I'm super curious to see how that one plays out. Now, the number 3, this is the craziest one. So this property it's a 3-family. It has hookups for a 4-unit, so it could be a 4-unit. The electrical box, it has 4 separate units, or whatever the correct terminology is, on the outside of the building. The lady who's living there hasn't done anything with the property. She stopped paying the mortgage. She stopped paying taxes. She stopped paying utilities. So there is 4 liens on there. Well, you just mentioned 3. Well, there's a lien from the utility company. There's a lien for low income renovation type of a loan that's due on sale. There's the tax lien. So tax liens include the interest, the fees, and any past due water. In the past, they would just shut off the water, but there's probably a lawsuit with that. So the city adds the water bill to that tax line. And then there's the note or the mortgage on the property. So you have all four of those that come up to, maybe 10 grand less than what the property would sell for if it was fixed up. So there's some issues there. I have control over the note. So the note is for like $103,000, and I have control over that for 30. So, and I can pay that out after the deal goes through, or if the deal goes through. So, I met with the person and had a conversation about purchasing the property and giving her 10 grand to get out of the property. And I had hired somebody. The person went in there, and I'm not sure if he has not had a lot of experience doing these, or if he was just hyper paranoid, or what was going on, but he seemed to really try to push her getting a lawyer, or if he was trying to cover himself in some capacity. I'm not sure what it is, but it didn't seem like he was super willing or putting a tremendous amount of effort to try to lock it up. And so or maybe it was just an experience level. I'm not sure, but she went and talked to one of the free service pro bono type of lawyers that just get out of school and then they have to do so much pro bono type work, which is just free work for the city if they want to work for like a DE's office or something. And this person, when you get 15 minutes with this person, so like there's not a lot of context involved in these conversations. This is what she told me. And this lawyer told her not to do it. And I don't think that this lawyer is giving her amazing advice. And okay, I personally feel this way, not because I'm purchasing the property, because when you go through this, so now I'm talking to two lawyers for foreclosing on her, right? Because I have control of the note. So I'll foreclose on her. She gets zero. That $10,000 that I was going to give to her, I'm just going to pay the lawyer. Get her the fuck out of the property. So I don't think the person who's doing this pro bono work has maybe the context or the understanding of what is going on, or how this plays out, because I think she's just going to put herself in a worse position, and it doesn't seem like when somebody doesn't understand how to do some things and they put their faith in somebody who they believe is going to give them valuable advice on a decision that's going to dramatically affect their life, it's almost unfortunate, because I feel like being in the financial services industry, this happens a lot to people who just don't have any idea. And obviously it requires taking some responsibility upon yourself, right? Like use the internet, right? To understand how things work and learn and grow. But it's unfortunate, I feel like, because this person could have had the opportunity to use that to pay for nearly another year worth of or pay for, maybe not a year, but pay for a decent portion of a first month's rent, last month's rent, and several months worth of rent at another place. So I don't know if she's just scared or has no idea or what is going on, but I've already reached out to two lawyers and spoken with them, and I will be having a more in-depth conversation over the next week or so. So wanted to give you guys an update. If you have any questions or if you have any knowledge about foreclosures or any of these things, let me know down below in the comments, or reach out to me on Instagram. Link in the description down there, not in the middle there, but down there. Don't forget to subscribe and press that bell notification so YouTube can notify you every time I post a new video. Peace.